moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah, better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of it.
Welcome back over to the R44 channel. Today we have quite a special day. We finally got the full R44 fleet, the collection, behind us today in Wembley in London. We are absolutely freezing. It's sub-zero temperatures, but it's such a special day to see all these cars behind us.
Go, dog. I'm riding a road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now.
So this will be the first and the last day these cars will be together, because we will be starting all of our adventures throughout the year and cars we're going off to get things done. But we've also lost a few cars since last year 2024. So we've said goodbye to our X3 M, our Supra, our 240i, as well as our M140i is not currently here. So there she is. We're going to walk you through some of the kind of some of the plates that are on the car now, and then we're going to go inside the workshop to show you in more detail. All right, we're going to keep this short and sweet because we are very cold, but it's such an important thing for the R44 kind of brand are the registration plates. This is where the name of R44 came from. It all came from this part of the registration. This is my first reg. I got it when I was 17 to put it on my first kind of sports car, which was a Fiesta ST, which is behind us. So this plate always goes on a car that's closest to my heart. So this is the G80 M3. This gave us the biggest growth in the company when this car was released in March 2021. So it's R44 ERD. ERD is my second name. And then if you put a little line there and a line there, it looked like Herd, and that's my second name. And then the initials are for Reese. So all the plates have R44. We're now going to have a look at the Fiesta, which is the original car of the company, which has now got quite a leery name. Obviously, we actually can't run this on the street all the time because it is illegally spaced and obviously not the nicest thing. So it's R44 FUG. So it's a bit of fun, it's space. This is our track car. We'll now look at the GT3 RS, which has recently, since last year, January, been assigned the R44 SIA plate. So it's like R44 SIA later, which is quite a cool plate. So this was on our Toyota Supra. It then got given to this car and it'll probably stay on this car forever because it's just, yeah, it was actually one of the first plates that we bought after the ERD plate. We also have in our daily driver R44 ERD, which matches my original plate. The M3 F80, it's an OG car. This is what I call it's original gangster. It's a proper M3. It's double OG, and then my girlfriend's name is Gina, so that's her kind of initials and it goes well. So double OG is the R44 car. Coming around here on the latest kind of marketing cars at R44 Performance, we have more of the company's kind of terminology within the plate. So it's R44 PEF on the M2. We then go over to the M3 Touring, again a very big marketing campaign and thing. So you now have R44 PRS, so very similar to the M2, which is quite cool because these two are always out together. And then wrapping things up, it's then going into some of the employees' cars. So you've got R44 DDJ, so that's Dylan DJger, that's Dylan, our content creator and marketing manager. That's his plate and that kind of goes with him. We then have some other ones like R44 FML, which was on Zach's M240i, as well as R44 WU, which was on Jade's M140i. But that's just, plates are so important, especially in a lot of countries, but especially here at R44. We want to make sure all our cars have a plate that is memorable and means something to the company. So let's get inside the workshop where we run through some of these cars.
Clear out the room, I'm coming through. They want to see what I'm about.
All right, guys, so let's walk you through one of the staple cars here at R44 Performance. Behind us, M3 Touring, that we created last year, so 2023 in the US. Yeah, you have to take a breathe in to really take it in, but Narwhal blue on the outside by Nosotec. It's got Vossen wheels on it, Narwhal blue calipers, some EBC brakes, as well as some PSI dustless pads. So it's combo that works really well for daily driving and no dust. We've got to look at the MHC carbon. So if you're looking at the front, you've got a full carbon package going on. You've got front grills, twin fin ducts, the original MHC SP1 splitter. If you don't know, that was the first front splitter available for the G8X platform. Coming down the side, you've obviously got more carbon down the side skirts, and you'll see the little details that we've done is we've wrapped all the flat surfaces Narwhal blue and left anything that's protruding out of the car exposed carbon, which works really well. And of course, if you look at it, it looks a little bit low, so it is riding with airlift suspension all the way around. It's the 3P. It works really well. If you're ever scared about car and airlift, don't be. It drives amazing. If you know Tourings, you know M3s. This is not original. This is a full replacement Alpha N roof. We've obviously got rid of the horrible black aluminium one, replaced it with the Alpha N carbon one, which goes really nice. We've got some contrast with some black bits that potentially might change in the near future. Come around the back, we do have our R44 titanium system and more carbon on the rear of the car. And of course, we've got loads under the engine bay. Looking on the inside, which you can't see, so shout out to the guys in the US that gave us some really good privacy glass because it was needed when we were down in Miami when we originally built this car. But it's got a JQ full racing steering wheel that has 0 coding required, and it's a 5-minute install. If you want one, they're available. All right, so let's look what's under the hood. It's quite important, it's quite unique, and it was actually the world's first. So there she is. So there's just a lot going on. There's a lot to admire in here, but more importantly, we do have a single turbo. So we have a Precision 6870 turbo. So we've gone with the 2 twin turbos, kind of such, to the single, which is just pure nuts. But the unique thing is these have been done in the US, but we couldn't just use a US manifold. We had to fabricate our own one. So we created with Tom Wrigley Performance a full right-hand drive compatible single turbo kit. But looking on in the engine bay, we have some amazing details. So you'll see with the turbo, it's obviously a polished finish with a matte kind of powder coat to it, which matches up perfectly with the CSF inlet manifold. You've got matte lacquer on the Venturi engine cover. We've routed that out so you can see the CSF. You've got some golden wrench caps, which match perfectly with like kind of the hardware. Obviously, it's a Brooklyn grey car underneath. So we tried to keep the colors minimal, so you're really focusing on that big shiny thing. We've got INDV ECU cover, and then most importantly here is this radiator cover, which is signed by all the employees at R44 Performance, because at the end of the day, these guys here make everything go round. But yeah, there's just so much, and a shout out to Motec, another UK company, for supplying us with an engine brace that just looks clean, not too much carbon under the hood, but just, yeah, it works in harmony together. And of course, some CSL lights from R44. But yeah, let's have a look at another part of this car. So let's have a little look inside the car. Of course, we've got factory spec, but it's a good conversation because there is so many options at the BMW dealership for the M3s and M4s. So we've got a black on black leather, which goes well for the daily touring vibes. We do not have extended leather because I didn't appreciate how good extended leather is because I've never really enjoyed it, but we do have another car with it, so we'll have a little look into it. But most importantly, we have the JQ steering wheel. So it's got a quick release. We've paired it out with a Momo Monte Carlo steering wheel, which is just kind of a touring spec. It doesn't feel too much like a race car. It's something you don't need in your M3 Touring, but it's pretty damn cool. So we've got that. Of course, we've got the airlift. And then we're going to show you the back of the seats. It's quite cool. So the seat I'm driving in is the OG New America seat. So it's got full livery from the US. And then this one is a Euro seat. It's only just begun, but it's got some cool things already. So let's take a look. This is the USA seat. So it's got all the workshops that this car visited. The whole thing was we drove the whole of the US, visiting companies that we know, we work with, or we just love because they're inspiration to us. So we've got from PSI to Golden Wrench, Tom Wrigley to Titan, to the OG look of this car. Got CSF, you got SEMA. We attended so many amazing shows. We've got Impact, which we won an award at. We've got Invasion, we've got SEMA, we've got Slammered, we've got all the different workshops. We even checked out Auto Finesse USA, Urban Automotive, we've got Miltech. And guess what? We did Route 66. So we've got all the Route 66 states that we visited. There's so much to this seat. And then over here, we have the European seat. So this car has only been to a few places so far. We've been to Essen Motor Show, where we picked up some Blackfish graphics, some Vino from Camber, an absolute legend. And then it's been to Caffeine Machine most recently. But over the course of this year, 2024, we'll be filling up this seat just with anything really. It is first come, first serve. If you've got a sticker, put it on. We've got to have a memory towards that sticker. But this seat sitting here it's amazing, man. It is so cool to see what we did. There's just so much to it from when we visited Canada. There's just endless. But anyways, let's have a look at what else is in this collection here at R44. All right, let's walk you through the brightest car in our selection. So we've got the M2. This is the brand new G87 2023 M2, not competition yet, but look at it. It's wrapped in papaya orange nose tech. As you can see, any car that's wrapped in this fleet is a nose tech. It's the best material on the market, gives the best finish. Just look at it. The gloss levels are unbelievable. And of course, wrapped by Jake the Rapper up in Newcastle. He's wrapped all of our cars, and you can tell because it just looks amazing. But wrap aside, of course, we've gone for the full MHC carbon all the way along the front. This is obviously Oh, have a look inside there as well. We've done the newest product that's for the M2, is that front lower grille that we've color matched the front. We've then done the carbon accents to replace the gloss black. Coming down the side, we've actually got some West Forge wheels. The history behind these wheels, where these are actually designed for the G80 to run a Mickey Thompson drag tire. So they're weird specs. They're a square setup, slightly smaller, 19s, but they're designed so that we never need to adjust the ride height of the M3 on the KWs. We just need to put these wheels on. But when we had this car, we did this beautiful build and we were like, wow, all looks good, but we have stock wheels. So we grabbed these, put some PS4Ss on there, and the internet has loved it. So we will not be taking them off. We might just change up the sizing. But of course, we've got some EBCs behind those West Forges. So EBC pads and discs, road set up. So we're running yellow and blue stuff just to get a nice road feel. Coming down the side, again, carbon mirrors from MHC, carbon side skirts. This is the Edition 1 kit. So the whole thing behind Edition 1 was it was, again, the first carbon kit available for this car on the commercial market. So it's Edition 1. So that's that there. Coming down the rear, of course, look at the fitment of these West Forges. It's unbelievable. To the rear, you've got a Grail OPF back system paired up with some R44 sports cats. We do have a full cat back coming, so I'm sure when this video goes out, we will miss that. But the OPF is what you want to hear because this is a brand new car. We've got a little spoiler, the plate, and that's it. We've got an Edition 1 rear diffuser. So there's not much. We spent £10,000 on this car originally, and we've just been enjoying it since. It's the latest car from BMW, and we're just feeling out the market, getting to know it, getting to know what you guys need. We'll have a look under the hood. We've got one modification under there, and of course we do have some remaps or some ECU tuning from Tom, so we can kind of look into that shortly and look at the interior. But other than that, there's not much to talk about. But yeah, let's get into the engine bay. All right, so let's look underneath the hood. Beautiful. So underneath here, again, straight away, you've got Tom Wrigley's badge. So this car does have a Stage 1 Plus software on it and a gearbox remap from Mike Bull. So shout out to them guys. It was mainly just to kind of open up the S58, sorry. So it's obviously got the same engine in this as it is in both the M3s that we have, but we didn't want to go too crazy. It's a daily driver. My other half does drive it a lot, so we just want it nice and simple. But we are going for a Stage 2, second we get the cat back fitted because the OPFs are so restrictive. But ram air, we've got a good value for money, intake. All I'm after is sound. I'm not after performance here. I just want sound and aesthetics. I thought the ram air works so well with the MHC like radiator cover. And that's it really. Obviously, as time comes on, we will be playing around with the engine bay, but our focus has been on different things. But of course, the car looks amazing. We'll have a brief look inside. We've got 2 mods inside there that just make well, 3 mods actually, that make the interior of these cars absolutely perfect. All right, so in the interior, the first mod that we did miss from the other cars, but it's this interior trim across here. So this is normally like a gloss black or a silver, I can't remember. I think it's gloss black. So we've just got this shift mod, pretty much matches up nice with the carbon. Steering wheel, probably my most favorite mod with every car is changing up the steering wheel because it's what you touch and what you see the most. So we've just gone for a shift wheel, slightly flat bottom, molded sides, leather on the top, Alcantara on the sides, and of course the JQ paddles to pair it all up. And that's all you really need on these G series. Again, stock factory spec, it's black on black interior. Annoyingly, I hate these multicolored seats that they give you, but it's not too bad, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the M2. It's an amazing car. We're getting used to it. We've done just under 4,000 miles in this car, so it's a good step forward, but definitely take a look at the wrap. The wrap on this car is unbelievable. Door seals, everything just look amazing. All right, so let's walk you guys through this, probably the most important car of our fleet. So this is the G80 M3 X-Drive, individual build, so it's Mexico blue. Little side note, all our cars are primarily a Porsche color or they're white. The M2 is a bit of a loose one, it's a McLaren color, but that's just because we need something to layer in. There was nothing left in the Nosec catalog. But this is paint to sample Mexico blue from BMW. It's a full ultimate pack car from factory, so it's got all the bells and whistles, and this is actually my 3rd G80. The first one I wrote off at Snetterton. It had a real backstory to that car. It did a lot for the company. It grew us to this size. We did a lot of work with that car. So that unfortunately left us at Snetterton. Then we got a Toronto red in memory of where I was born, and then we've got this G80 M3. So It's a beautiful car. Let's walk through some of the exterior kind of spec, what we've done to it. We haven't gone crazy as much as we would have done because we've done something else to the power and to the more of the heart of the engine compared to what we do with some of the other cars, for example. But looking at the front, we've got the M80 carbon fiber everywhere. So we've got the GT grille, we've got the SP1 and the twin ducts. Again, I've gone for a very original style, very clean, because this car is very focused on power rather than the aesthetics. Coming to, obviously you've got some yellow DRLs which look amazing. Coming to the wheel setup, we've got stud and nut kit, we've got the EBC brakes, full racing discs and pads, racing fluid, racing lines, because they want to take everything. We've got stock wheels with PS4Ss, slightly wider 4Ss on the rear. We've also got some 827 M CS wheels behind me. These are actually the daily, like the show wheels, but we tend to run them on stock because the brake pads are so porous and they really eat through the paint and stuff. But coming down the side, we've obviously got the ultimate pack, we've got the carbon mirrors, we've got the carbon side, we've got the SK1s down the side. There's some more things we want to do. I really want to paint these black bits blue, but it's something that's kind of going to come in the future. Come around the back. Again, there's not a great deal. It's actually sat on KW suspension, so that's a little bit suspension. Let's run through it. KW suspension, we've got suspension secrets throughout. So all the geo, all the arms, the bushes have been done by Suspension Secrets, so shout out to them. Come around the rear, very clean. We've just got some OLED tail lights. We've got an OEM spoiler. We've got a DF1 diffuser, and we've got a full Grail catback system. This is a 2-to-1 system. Grail's well known in Germany for their OPF back systems. This is their first catback system that we developed, because this car, if you want to get a G80 with very high power to sound good, it's very hard. And I think this car is one of the best sounding G80s out there with this type of power because of what we've done in Germany with the engineering, the quality of materials, and that's why we choose our exhaust. So that's that. Let's have a look underneath the engine bay and talk a bit more about the power side of things. There isn't much to see, that's it. But as with everything on this build, it's OEM plus, it's very clean. So as you can see, let's work from what kind of shows from the top. We've got an Venturi engine cover. We always go for these just because they look great. They've got that extra bit to the side. Motec brace, again, just looks subtle, does the job. It's very great value for money. We've also got full CSF cooling package. So again, on this car, same with the M3 Touring actually, we've got a full inlet, we've got the oil cooler on the transmission cooler, sorry, and just the radiator heat exchanger changed. Intakes, we've just got pipe across drop-in filters, and we do have 2 pure turbos, stage 2 plus turbos dropped in there. And most importantly, of course, we've been to Tom Riggy Performance, and he's done a full built engine. He's done a stage 3 transmission from Pure Transmissions in the US. Stage 3 transmission with a built toy that you could do torque converter. So that means we can launch up to like 5,000 RPM or something stupid. So this car dynos at about 1,039 brake horsepower and runs, that's on ethanol, so if we run just a normal pump blend, it's about 800 horsepower. So some crazy stuff. There's loads more to do with this, but the last 6 months of this car has been developing stage 1. It was really fast stage 1 car. Went stage 2, was again fastest in Europe on Draghi. People say different things like Draghi or whatever. It's Mexico, whatever, but Draghi's a great way to compare everybody throughout the world. So some really good times on Draghi at stage 2. We then went to stage 3, and it's currently sat at the fastest quarter mile in Europe at a 9.3 quarter mile at Santapod, and a 0 to 60 at just under 2 seconds. So pretty quick and really good times from a UK manufacturer, like tuner and stuff, compared to the guys in the US. But that's the engine bay. It's nice and subtle. This year is all about just adding my touches to this car, because this car is it's never going to leave. It's a beautiful car. It's grown the business massively, the G80 platform, and this is our staple piece. It looks amazing. The color is just amazing in person, and of course it's PPF throughout by Limitless Detailing. They've done an amazing job. Full XPEL on every single inch of this car, so we can batter it all we want. But anyways, let's have a look inside briefly, and let's hear what it sounds like. inside, again, you'll see this familiar in our cars. It's a black on black leather. I have had crazy Silverstone leather, but it just gets marked with the workshop work and stuff like that. So black on black leather, full spec Alcantara extended leather, and the steering wheel is probably my favorite part. It's a full retrim by Shift with a hidden 12 o'clock marker that you can just about see if you need it. If not, it's not there. And then of course, paired up with some JQ paddles, just giving that a kind of click. But other than that, there's not much else you need to do to a G80 interior. There's a few things I plan to do, but with some M performance parts. But other than that, I must say quickly, if you are looking at G80, these two screens rather than the big one is a winner. I love them compared to the G80 and M2. So let's walk you through one of the employees' cars that is in this fleet of ours. So it's an M2 Competition F87, finished in Long Beach blue. It's a beautiful color. Like we get washed out with all these amazing like paint sample colors and the blacks and the grays and stuff, but Long Beach blue is an OG color for BMW. So it's nice to see in the fleet. It's got some really nice exterior mods. Nothing too crazy. It's something that we used to master these cars back in the day, but we're kind of re-engineering things, seeing what the market needs, because back when we started 4 years ago, this car was a very different car to it is now. It's more like a track car. It's more of an enthusiast car because it is such an amazing car. So this is finished up with an M8C GT style front lip. Come around the front, it's got BMW anniversary badges, R44 CSL lights. It's got the upgrade BMW M brake, so it's quite a nice brake setup. Behind the Bowler forged wheels, you'll see two of our F-Series cars set on Bowlers. Bowler's an OG brand. It's got a bit of a crazy name to it, but these are their fully forged series, and it's an amazing set of wheels. The style, the finish, the weight, it's just perfect, and they're crazy robust. We put them through a lot of tests, but paired up with these M brakes is an EBC discs and pad setup, which is really cool. Again, coming down the side, he's got OEM side badges, finishing carbon fiber. He's got mirror covers. He's got some AC Schnitzer parts. So this is actually originally an AC Schnitzer car. So it's fully built with AC Schnitzer parts, and over time, we'll remove them and replace them where required. So side skirts come to the rear. He's got a nice fat setup from Bowler with the PS4Ss. AC Schnitzer wing, nice little wing. It's got 1x1 weave, so it matches some of the roof from like the F80s and stuff like that. Come to the rear, he's got a full Remus OPF back system with carbon titanium tips and an Acura diffuser. So full-on Acura diffuser paired up with the Remus. It's quite controversial running two different exhaust companies so next to each other, but at the end of the day, it's all about getting that style. He's also got little details like some golden wrench overlays in here that just blacks out that, some Ace-Exons down the side, again, anniversary badges, and a cool plate that kind of matches his initials, DDJ. So looks good, and an AC Schnitzer little roof spoiler. But that is the exterior of the car. It is beautiful. Let's now have a look inside. Again, he's just done those two little mods on the inside of a car that makes such a difference. So let's have a look at the mods he's done on the interior of this car. He's got very subtle things such as a red start-stop button. Actually, I think that's a factory option on the M2 Comp, but he's got that matched with some M1s and M2s from Shift. Another Shift retrim, so it's Alcantara sides, leather top and bottom with a blue stripe to match the car. So that's a nice little touch. And of course, some JQ paddles. Obviously, future mods for Dylan, for sure, it's exposed carbon center trim, gear selector, and a handbrake lever, which will really nicely tie up the interior. And of course, AC Schnitzer as always, pedal covers. And yeah, let's have a look under the engine bay. This car is actually quite special. It is running some good power, of course, from Tom. So let's have a look in the engine bay and see what it's running. So let's have a look what's under this engine bay. Wallop. So of course, first thing first, this strut brace, if you know BMWs, this is the best part of the car because they did now remove that and we're having to buy in strut brace and they aren't as cool as these. But we've got some amazing mods. So we've got a full carbon engine cover paired up with some golden wrench anodized blue caps of such. He's got the washer, he's got the coolant, and he's got the oil. We then have some OG Venturi intakes to give it a nice sound. He also has a full CSF cooling package that will throw some overlays because we're just about to change out this cooler for a CSF one. And then he has a stage 2 remap from Tom Wrigley and Mike Bull, as well as a DCT gearbox as well. So all wrapped up. It's a cool car. It does everything. It sounds amazing. And to be honest, we didn't even talk about suspension. This car's running a KW V3 suspension setup, which just handles like a go-kart on the track. So yeah, let's wrap this up and let's see what's next. walk you through two of the most iconic cars in our lineup. So you've got the GT3 RS and you've got an F80 M3 behind. Both these cars are spec'd to the identical spec, but two different chassis. This is the GT3 RS 991.1, finished in like a white, pure white, I believe. It's got a full car PPF, which is a nice touch. But this is by far my favorite car, because if it's one car that I'm gonna get out and drive, it'd be this. The sound of it, 9,000 RPM, screaming through a grail. It's kind of like a back box, I guess. There's not much. The back box on these cars is huge, so once you remove it, you get so much sound. So that's the only modification, paired up with some J2 paddles. It's a track car. These are kind of things that, to be honest, I drive this every weekend if I can, and get on as many track days as possible. And then depending on the track day, of course, it all depends on what car we bring out. So we either have this if it's more of like an RMA day in the UK, or a big track. If it's where we're just going out having fun, maybe the guys have jumped in the Fiesta, then I'll jump in this. This is the F80 M3. Yeah, it's a beauty. This is the OG car, as you can see on the plate, double OG. This is like my dream car. I bought this maybe going on 2 years now, I can't remember. But I bought it outright. I bought it as like, cool, I've worked towards this, I've got it. And then the engine blew up on me after doing NC 500, which is a big drawback. What happened then? It blew up. I didn't know what to do with it. I couldn't afford to get a new engine, so I had to like think about ideas, who I can trust to put an engine in it. I then thought, cool, I'm gonna go with Tom Wrigley. He's a bit more expensive, but I know that I can just give him one of my like beauties. And he did a thing, he ripped it apart, told me what was wrong, was very clear throughout, and that's where me and Tom made that connection, where we had mutual respect. I paid my bill for everything that was on this car, and he thought, this guy isn't trying to get loads of stuff for free or things like that. So he built this car, he put a brand new engine in it, transmission, stage 3 turbos, and then mapped it for the UK track. So it's stage 3 car with not crazy power. It's primarily there for performance. But yeah, it's a matching spec. So it's got a white cage. They both got red seat belts. They both got racing steering wheels. This one's got a detachable JQ. They both got carbon buckets. That's 918. Is it 981? 918. 918 buckets. Come on, lads. It's got these ones. Got tillets. This car's on Bowler, fully forged wheels. Got Nitron R3 suspension. Full solid bush throughout by Suspension Secrets. Geode. It's got a full MHC carbon kit throughout. Yeah, every nut and bolt. EBC brakes, pads, discs, fluids, lines. Everything's been taken care of in this car. It's designed that it can go on as many track days as possible. All you need to do is just change the fluid, the line, the brakes, and the tires, and enjoy it. So yeah, this is kind of our track kind of area in our showroom. These cars sit, they're both matching, and then all the colors goes on to like the marketing fleet. These are more enjoyable things. So let's have a look what's inside the engine bay before we pull them out. So obviously it's a stage 3 car, but I want to just highlight what we've done with this. So just to make it look clean, we've got stock air boxes, again with some drop-in dry panel filters. We've got a CSF cooling package throughout, so all uprated cooling, just so it can take all the track day bashing. And then my best mod are these Eventuri charge pipes that are just hella baller. They look so clean with the, I think it's a 4x4 weave that matches really well with the strut brace. But nice little subtle engine bay, a bespoke finished CSF just for that kind of touch, which you'll see on the M3 Touring. I kind of love that finish. It really just, yeah, says a lot without saying a lot. So yeah, that's it. Let's get these cars out. They both sound absolutely insane. I think this is one of the best sounding F80s out there. The combination on the exhaust, well, you'll know all of our exhausts are so, yeah, we're so fiddly. This has got like catless downpipe. It's got AA with a resonated mid pipe. It's got stock back box, but a non-comp. There's loads of like things, but it sounds amazing. Anyways, let's go. All right, so let's walk you through an OG car. So behind me is a Fiesta ST. If you're probably from the UK, you would know these cars very, very well. They're a bit of a, yeah, it's normally when you're just turned 18 or 19 and you've been grafted and you get one of these and you whoosh, whoosh, all the way. They've got a 1.6 turbo engine. They're capable of like 320 brake on a stock engine with just a change of a turbo and some upgraded hardware throughout the engine bay. Man, they have amazing stuff. So when I first passed my driving test, I got a Clio 1.2, which we'll look into in more detail. Then I got a first Fiesta ST in a red color, and then I got a Fiesta ST in blue, which was a full built stage 3 car with every modification. That's kind of where my obsession with the aftermarket industry kind of came from. So this car came from just about 2021, early 2021, when we sold my M2 to replace it with a G80 M3. I then had a Range Rover at the time, which also broke and was at the garage for a very long time. So we had no cars. I had nothing to get to work. So I had £1,800 or something, £2,000. So I went and collected this. And it was a bit of a nightmare. Me and Dylan collected it. And yeah, what happened? We got there. It was like 8 o'clock at night. We test drove it. Everything was back perfect. We paid the money. We got on it. Started driving home. And then the second it got up to temperature, the clutch started spinning and the clutch was completely shot on it. So second the temperature came, it started slipping and we were stranded on the side of the highway, the motorway. We were there for like 3 hours. We then went back to the guy's house and asked for a refund, never gave us a refund. It was an absolute shambles. But yeah, it was here, we put a clutch in it. So shout out to Mario, our old technician, he put a clutch in it. And yeah, here it is today. So I've run through some mods. It's extremely dirty because it sits outside. And now, I'll never sell it. It's just a great car. Whenever you just need a car just to get around, it's always there, always works. We use it as like a team track car. So if we ever go on track events, this car is like fully capable of all track work. It's got a stage 2 package. It's got upgraded brakes from EBC, it's got suspension, it's got a maximum design kind of RS style bumper. It's wrapped in satin khaki green that we did overnight. So shout out to Jake the Rapper. One day we were wrapping a car. I was like, can you wrap this? It's black underneath. He was like, sure. And he just slapped out, I think 4 hours, 5 hours to wrap the whole car. And it's been bang on, 2 years on, 3 years on. It's not peeled one bit, and that's why we know Jake is the best. But yeah, it's got that. It's got some raised wheels, Miltech exhaust. But yeah, it's primarily here. So if you need anything, if someone's car breaks down, then they can use this. If we want to go on track, they can put it through its paces. It's the best car on track. It's got an LSD, so that's the best thing. But yeah, it's a cool car. We'll give it some revs so you guys can hear it, but then we'll go from there. All right, so guys and girls, we're wrapping up this video. As you can see behind us, it is a mess. So shout out to the guy that's just bought my Apex wheels from my M3. Enjoy them. I've enjoyed them. So we're just, yeah, standard stuff. If you know us here at R44, we never stop working. So throughout this video, of course, between every cut, we are packing 100 boxes. We're cleaning this, we're doing that. We're getting things done. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, a little walk around our cars and what we do. And yeah, check out the next things on our channel and throughout our social media and everything like that. See you later.